Hey guys, welcome back. Fast Monty's Garage. This is episode 10 of our TREMEC install. And it's a big one because we are putting the transmission into the GTO, hopefully for the last time, or until someone donates a dual clutch for me. And then we'll take it out again. But until that time, hey, who knows? It's going to last a while. So I have a lot to do today. Subscribe if you haven't. If you're new, check it out. That's step one of this whole process. Again, we're on step 10, which is crazy. Oh, another thing. I got my new drive shaft in the mail. I told you a couple of episodes that we had time to do that. We had to order it. Perfect timing. So today, we're going to put oil in the transmission, mount it, put the shifter in, and then secure everything, and then hopefully put the drive shaft in. Oh my God, we're almost there. So sit back, enjoy, and I'll be right back. You guys remember someone saying, when you take this gasket out to keep it, because this will prevent oil from coming out, so don't throw this away. So we can reuse this. Yeah, I lost it. So before we put oil in this bad boy, we need to either use that gasket that was here that came when it shipped, or we need to come up with a transmission condom. Some cellophane and a rubber band. More important that we get a good seal around the bottom because the oil is probably going to come up to here. And I'm going to tuck this away. Now we can go to the next step. Knucklehead. Alright guys, so we have to put oil in this plug. I just got a 19 millimeter socket. Well, that's interesting. Like some kind of sealant. Now I got the crud out of there. And we put 2 quarts, 20 ounces in, or right as the oil starts to come out the bottom of the hole. And I'm going to use that method because it's easiest. The transmission is relatively level, like it was in the car. All right, got my funnel. Okay, I think we're getting close. Oh. Oh yeah, the luxury of a flashlight because we're not in the car. I'll show you this. There's our lake. Haha. Nice. So we're good. Guys, we're almost there. Check it out. The condom is working. Just like designed. So we're almost there, but we have to get the input shaft through the throwout bearing, which will require a little bit of more tilt. So hopefully our condom stays together. And a little elevation. Same time. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like a glove. Like butter. Awesome. Alright guys, time to put the shifter assembly back on. And if you remember, when we took it off, this was tilted back, so There we go. So I'll tighten those from top side. All right, for the time being, I'll do the bottom one. And don't forget your split nut we took off the other assembly. There's a little groove. There's a mating groove that this edge goes in. So make sure you guys catch that. All right, we're in. Look at the dry shaft difference. You guys see the diameter difference? Oh my God, the girth on that thing. It's crazy. So awesome. I know, Ryan, I said that for you. But check this out, guys. I also upgraded the yoke here, or whatever these are called. They're a little bit bigger than the stock one. Hey, another condom. It's like a toilet paper roll. We got to do this quick because the condom on the transmission is not lasting too long. I think oil's going to start leaking. And I can tell as soon as we take the condom off, oil's going to come out. So it's going to be a mess. Here we go. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm going to make a royal mess here. All right. We are in like Flynn. And perfect fit on this end. So I'm going to go ahead and put the U-bolts on, and we're good. Okay, now that we got this locked in the instructions it says to put the dust cover on and use some RTV. So it actually took me a while to figure this out. I thought they were talking about the dust cover, the rubber boot on this thing. What they're talking about is this. So this comes in the kit. It's got a labeled part number, but it doesn't clearly say it's a dust cover. So anyway, that's what this is. It screws into place right here. And there's a gap in between the housing, transmission housing, and that shield. So that's what we need to RTV. And I think the best approach is to take my Sharpie and just outline it, and then go back and put RTV in, and then we'll put this on. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, there we go. And you can see right here there's like this little crevice, so it's a pretty good idea. Just put RTV all along the black line and thicker here because it's an indentation. And we'll screw it into place. Okay, RTV's in place, nice and messy. And I'm also realizing this would be easier to do without the cross brace in here. Hey guys, it's in. It's actually a pretty good challenge getting that other screw because of our brace. So if you can do it before you put your brace in, good idea to do that. So I put some tape down. You guys might have seen this trick I do before, and you can smooth it down with your finger without creating too much of a mess. And you can fill in spots that you need it. Pretty sure I got it there. And then hopefully when we take our tape off, it didn't stick very well, so it's probably going to leave a bit of a mark. Yeah, just like I thought. Got it underneath the tape there. But that looks pretty good. Nice and sealed along the bottom. I assume this needs to be open for breathing. But looks good to me. Okay guys, time to tackle the speedometer cable. So I don't remember what episode we talked about putting it underneath the dashboard and running it under the car. So this is what it looks like. It's pre-greased, which is nice. And then we have a speedometer gear that we have to slip on. There's a square hole. It fits the square profile. And then there's a C-clip that goes in here, like the directions show, like that. So we put the C-clip in. It also comes with a kit, which there's the C-clip, you can see that, but I have no idea what the O-ring is for, and I assume this is for the lockdown. But on my transmission, there's already a lockdown screw, so we have to take that little plug out, and we'll see what's next. So this is just a plug, like that. So you might have to twist it a little bit, like put an Allen wrench in here and turn it and pry on it, and it'll pop out. Okay guys, so I got the clip in. I'm assuming the O-ring goes here, so I will call Silversport or send them an email just to double check, but I'm going to move forward as if that's where it goes. Instructions are not clear, so here we go. Hey, like a glove. Nice. Well guys, turns out I called Silversport, and the O-ring doesn't go here. It actually goes on here. And before you do that, you have to pack this with grease. Now, what's frustrating is that there's two sets of instructions. The instructions we were looking at, and then there's also another set of instructions in our booklet. So that's what I was missing. The second set, I do have them, but I missed them. So I reread them, and we packed this end with grease, with bearing grease, and then put our O-ring on, like that, and then put the gear on. So I'll get to it and put it back in the transmission. All right, so next step is I'm going to coat this with the transmission oil and then put it back in where it came from. Lockdown screw. Supposed to torque it to 4 pound-feet. I'm pretty sure snug will be pretty good enough. There we go. Hey guys, so we're topside, and not really happy with this gap right here. Mainly because I can't get the boot to fit in between there. Oh man, I should have put this on when we were mocking up our patch panels, and that's my fault. So make sure you guys do that when you put yours in. Make sure you install this so you can trim this when you're trimming everything else. So I have to go ahead and do that. Be right back. Alright guys, there we go. Opened it up. There should be plenty of space. I still have to put pour 15 on this edge, but I'm going to go ahead and put the shifter on just to make sure it fits in the shifter tunnel, because I have my suspicions. When you're in reverse, you might hit this side of the enclosure. Alright guys, we're in luck. Just barely. That's in reverse. So I'll take it. Got the starter in. Wire's running great. Wire harness is all hooked up. So as far as the underside of the car is concerned, we are done. Drive shaft's in. Looks spectacular, by the way. So all I have left to do is debate if we're going to use the neutral switch or not, and then connect the reverse light harness in the interior, put the interior back together, etc., etc., and then we get the fun and joy of bleeding the clutch. So that should be fun. And then put the engine back together. So one of the hurdles I have now is that we've moved our transmission brace back by, like, I don't know, 2.5 inches or so. I custom made my exhaust to fit right in that hump, and I hope it's not like this now. That means I gotta change the exhaust and add blah 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 more piping. So that might be my next step. Let's put the headers on and connect the exhaust up, see where we're at. I'll be back. Alright guys, one last thing we need to install is the shifter, and I decided to change my mind. I want a Hurst shifter. So the SST shifter is awesome, but I wanted to make it look original, so I'm going to go with the Hurst shifter, and I'll show you the end result. Oh yeah, boys and girls, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Let's get this car back together. We're done. TREMEC installed. Whew, man, what a journey. Oh, and look what I found. When I was putting the transmission in, it had got stuck somewhere and rolled out from underneath the car. Hey, whatever, we played with the condom. The condom worked. The other thing I learned, if you have long tube headers, you might have a problem. Because I have long tube headers, and I noticed the TREMEC sits lower, so the headers are actually pointed at more of an angle. So I had to shim the transmission to get them more level. I don't have enough room to shim more, otherwise I would. That means I have to modify the tunnel more. So those of you that stuck through this whole series, thank you, and you're using long tube headers, make sure you put your headers on when you're modifying the tunnel, so you can see the angle of dangle, because it will be a problem. I'm already upset about it. I'm going to continue on with 3/16 inch shim back there, but it's not enough, and I'm not happy about it, but that's life. So I'm going to continue on with the build, headers, exhaust, carburetor, get this thing started, test drive. If I'm not happy about the ground clearance, I will go back and modify the tunnel. But that, as you guys know, is a pain in the ass. Whew. So again, thanks for hanging out. Subscribe to watch the rest. And you know the drill. Building fast, driving faster. See ya.